So after about 15 to 16 months of absolute silence on the game, we finally did get something from Final Fantasy XVI. And the news after 16 months, the news is there won't be any more news for another few months. But before continuing the discussion, let me read the message. A message from producer Yoshi P. When last we spoke, I promised I would have more information on Final Fantasy XVI sometime later in 2021. However, I regret to inform you that I will be unable to keep that promise, as complications stemming from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic have delayed the game's development by almost half a year. As the latest addition to the Final Fantasy series is being developed for the PlayStation 5, Final Fantasy XVI has amassed a sizable team composed of talented creators from around the world. However, in an effort to offset the effects of COVID-19, we've had to decentralize that workforce by permitting staff to tackle their assignments from home. This has unfortunately hampered communication from the Tokyo office, which in turn has led to delays in, or in extreme cases, cancellations of asset deliveries from our outsourced partners. That said, we have spent much of 2021 trying to address this issue and hope to see its impact to a minimum by the new year, allowing us to better focus on the tasks at hand, increasing graphic resource quality, refining combat mechanics, fleshing out individual battles, putting the finishing touches on the cutscenes, and conducting overall graphical optimization. Our primary goal is now to be as hands-on with the game as possible in order to see it fully polished. So that leaves the question, when can we expect the next round of information? Well, I'm happy to announce that the current plan is to conduct our next big reveal in spring of 2022, as we seek to build excitement leading up to the game's eventual release. I deeply apologize to all those who have been looking forward to learning more about Final Fantasy XVI. Thank you for your continued patience while we focus our combined efforts on development. Final Fantasy XVI producer, Naoki Yoshida. Now, this news initially upset me after waiting so long to finally get more news on the game. For me to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning before work and see Final Fantasy XVI trending on Twitter, and for this to be what it is, I was definitely disappointed. But we can glean a couple things from this. Now, there was someone on Twitter, he's semi-reliable, he's been very wrong in the past, but he's also been very right, said that Final Fantasy XVI and Forspoken were originally planned to bookend this year. Essentially meaning they were supposed to come out holiday 2021. They were supposed to close the year out before, when they were announced, that was what they were supposed to do. But, pandemic flared up again a bit this year, and it really did slow things down. And as we can see, he says it slowed it down by about half a year. Now, this can mean a couple things, but what I'm going to assume is that we're probably going to see this game in April. Because that's an in-between part, right? Stranger of Paradise comes out in March, Forspoken comes out in May, we'll see it in April, or maybe in May, or technically E3 falls in June. I would hope they don't mean at E3. Very, very likely they do. I can't discount that. But I would really hope that they don't. But we can glean a couple things from this. So basically, as he says, right here towards the end, the tasks at hand are increasing graphic quality, refining combat mechanics, fleshing out individual battles, and putting the finishing touches on the cutscenes and optimization. And they want to be as hands-on with the game to polish it. Essentially meaning, as he says himself, they are in the polishing phase of this game. This game is very close to being completed. We know that they're finished with the side quests now. They finished those up. If I had to guesstimate when it would have been done, he said they were almost done with the minor ones in early October. I'm going to bet by Halloween they were probably wrapped up with the side quests and they've been polishing. Now, Naoki Yoshida has said before that he doesn't want to show this game again until it's very close to release. If they're planning to show this game in spring, there's no way this is not a 2022 release. I would bet September, I would say anywhere from July to November is fair game at that point. Naoki Yoshida is known for showing his games, or his expansions rather, very close to release. Now, this is a game, this is not an expansion, so I don't expect him to have it be as close, with an expansion, you can afford to wait 3 weeks before the expansion comes live, and then give the release date for it, right? You can afford to do that because it's an expansion. This is an entire game, right? And let's not forget, he's producing, he's not directing. It's not entirely up to him. So, knowing what I do about Yoshida, I'm gonna say this game is probably gonna get shown in either April or June. That's what I'm betting, because for spring, they have Stranger of Paradise hitting in March. I'm pretty sure we know the way Square Enix says they're not going to want to pull the rug out from under that. And Forspoken, it's not getting a lot of good coverage right now, but they're definitely going to want to give Forspoken its own time. So I'm definitely going to say that this is either, if it's not shown in April, we're not seeing it until June. And then if it shows up in April, I'm going to say, for your release date timing, you could see it anywhere from July to November, is what I'm going to say. Because he said it delayed it by almost half a year, and we know that it was planned to come out then, but, development was supposed to be done then, but, you think about it, and time, things going gold and the production and such, you have to add about a month onto that. So, another month to 2 months. I seem a little jittery, because it's freezing cold in my room right now, but yeah, the game is very much in its polishing phase, and I'm going to say that it is definitely not too far out of release. If he shows it in April, expect it Q3, Q4 2022, maybe on the ass end of Q2, but I can't, no, not Q2, it definitely wouldn't be. It would be Q3 or Q4. Now, if he waits until June, this is a holiday release. I think if he shows it anytime in spring, I think lock it in 2022 release. Naoki Yoshida said several times that sorry, Jesus. It's so cold I'm shaking. He has said, in his words, I don't want to string people along with little bits of information. Isn't it just better that the next time you see it, you can play it right after? Which I interpret as, you can pre-order it, and a demo. Maybe a demo. I would hope a demo. Please be a demo. But that's what I interpret that as. I interpret it as, it's better if you can play it right after, if you can order it right after. So, I think if he shows it in April, we're seeing this in Q3 or Q4. If he shows it in June, it could come out at the very back end of Q3, but it would have to be like right at the end. He would have to cut it so close. I think it's a 2022 release either way. I see no way this gets pushed back anymore. COVID-19 is definitely starting to slow down some. And at this point, with just the polishing phase, it's really not going to take that much outsourcing, so it shouldn't take too long. But again, it's hard to say. I'm not a developer. I consider myself pretty knowledgeable on this stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm not a developer, right? I know some stuff. I know how things work. I've studied this industry for so long. I just know this stuff. But one thing's for sure, this is definitely not too far. There's people saying this is a 2024 release, a 2023 release. I have some people say 2026. What was that weird noise? Jesus Christ. You're on cocaine if you think that it's coming out anytime later. January 2023 is the latest I would go. I don't think it would come out past that point. I think that is the cutoff. But I still want to be optimistic and say 2022 release. I definitely am feeling it, because the game is very far into development. Let's see, let's say it comes out in September. That puts this game right at 6 years of development. 6 full years. Now, we don't even know if this game is fully open world. I suspect it to be something kind of like The Witcher 3, where you have huge areas, but not quite full open world, seamlessly connected. Right? That's what I'm thinking it is. But that's just me. That's just my personal theory. That's another video for when we get more footage. But Final Fantasy XVI is my most hyped game currently. I'm very much looking forward to it. I want to get my hands on it so bad. I want to get some kind of news on it more than anything. I want to see the game. I want to see everything this game has to offer as soon as I possibly can. But at this point, we do just have to wait. This game is still a little ways off. I think it's less than a year away. Definitely. I would say this game is probably about 9 months away. I expect it to, if I had to guess when the game's going to go gold, I would put my money on July. I'd say July, the game goes gold, comes out in September. That would be where I put my money down. Anywhere in that. Again, it could come out as early as July. It really just depends. We know, like I said, we know how Yoshi is. We know how he likes to wait to the last second to show stuff. But I think as a company, Square Enix is not going to let him do that with this game. This is the most hyped game in Japan. 3 Famitsu issues in a row, right? So, no doubt in my mind, this game is coming out next year. We're seeing it sometime in spring. That's everything. Again, we're in the polishing phase. We're very, very close. I cannot wait to see it, you know. I am really disappointed that we didn't get to see more of it in 2021, but I kind of figured it would happen, right? But, you know, that'll do it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Do you think Final Fantasy XVI is coming out next year? Do you think it's coming out in 2023? When do you think they'll show it? What all do you think? Do you think it's in the polishing phase? Do you think there's still a ways out? I believe Yoshi P. He hasn't lied. He hasn't lied very often. He's built up a good reputation. I definitely do think Yoshi P. is telling the truth when he says that they're almost done, right? And he says they want to be hands-on with the game to polish it. I think this is a clear sign. This game is very, very close. They want to build hype for its release. Starting in spring is what they said. That in spring they want to start building hype towards its release. Yeah, this is a 2022 game in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you go like, subscribe, and comment, I'd appreciate that. I'm going to have to turn the heater on. I had to turn it off because, you know, the microphone will pick it up. Jesus, it's cold. My name is Colin, but I go by Ellis. I'm on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Y'all take it easy.